Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's look is going to be this Halo Eye Date Night look. I'm going to be using primarily the Emily Edit The Wants palette by Makeup Revolution. So first things first, we're going to start off by taking our primer, and I'm just using the Wet n Wild matte primer. And we're gonna put it all over our face. And one thing I like to do with my primer is I really try and push it into the skin. I feel like by pushing your primer in, it sinks in a little bit better and it makes the foundation lay a little bit better. So today I'm gonna be using the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation, and I'm in the shade L40 Classic Ivory. So what I do with the ones with the pump, I just put about 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps first, and I'm just gonna take my brush. This is just my Real Techniques foundation brush, and we'll just start stippling that all over. This is a really affordable, really nice looking foundation that you can get from the drugstore. I really do like the CoverGirl foundations, and I find that they last a long time on my skin. I don't find that you need a lot of foundation. It's always best to start out with less and then work your way up if you find that you need it. I am gonna go in with my Eco Tools brush. It's just a little bit more dense, and so that's gonna make this foundation really sink into the skin. You always want to make sure that you blend down your neck, so that way you don't get that harsh line that can happen sometimes under here where you think you have everything all blended in, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, you can totally see my foundation line. That's looking good. I'm now going to take the CoverGirl Clean Matte Concealer, and this is just in the shade Light. I'm going to see, I've never used this concealer before, so we'll see how it goes. It might be a little bit light, maybe not. It's actually looking pretty decent. The applicator completely sucks, but that could just be because I'm used to having like such a big doe foot applicator that this one just seems like it's terrible. I feel like I have to keep dipping in for more product, and I hate when I have to do that. I'm one of those people that I like for it to be, you know, like one and done. So I'm just gonna put that in the places on my face that kind of need to be highlighted a little bit too. This is a good trick for if you do get a foundation that's a little too dark for you. If you take a lighter concealer, you can also put it around your T-zone, and you'll see how it kind of lightens up the center of my face. And so it makes it so that it's not quite as dark, and it kind of lightens up your entire face because that's the points that you're drawn to. Okay, I feel like that's pretty well blended. I feel like it looks really well. It's actually a really good color match for me. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Fit Me Loose powder in the shade Fair. This is one of the best setting powders from the drugstore. It literally is only like $5.99, and it really does a good job of setting the face, and it just gives such a natural finish to the skin. All right, our blank canvas is ready. Next, I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This is in the shade Dulce de Leche, and these are the ones that are half and half. So it's not necessarily a highlight because it is a contour, so this is more like a setting powder, and this is gonna be your bronzer. And I'm just gonna take the bronzing side, and I'm just gonna carve out my cheeks with it. Once again, I'm just gonna put that on right by my temples, just because I find that that's one of the places that the sun naturally hits my skin. And then I'm gonna take the Milani Baked Blush, and this is in the shade Rosa Romantica, actually, Rosa Romantica. Milani is an Italian brand, so all their names are in Italian. Fun fact, I'm just gonna put this right on the apples of my cheeks. I love these Milani baked blushes. They are beautiful. They have just the slightest amount of sheen to them, but they make you just look like you're glowing from within. They're so beautiful. This one in particular is like a very like bridal blush. I love it. All right, Wet n Wild has a really good highlight. All of their highlights are actually really well known, and this one kind of gets left out in the dust a little bit. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Master Chrome Face Studio highlight, and this is in the shade Molten Gold. This one, it got a little bit of hype when it first came out, and then it kind of just got dropped. But then every time they release a new shade, it kind of picks back up again. But it really is such a beautiful highlight. I mean, come on, that's gorgeous. And you know, as a fair person, I was kind of hesitant to try this one just because I did feel like it's gonna show on my skin. And there's a lot of highlights that do because I am so fair. But this one, I find that if I use a light hand and kind of build it up slowly, that's the best effect I can get. And I kind of do these circular motions instead of just going in and just doing like a streak right across my face. And that kind of gives it more of a diffused, very natural, like glow from within kind of look. Okay. So now that the face is done, we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and I'll be right back. All right, we are back with our eyebrows on, so we're looking kind of, you know, not alien-like. So next I'm gonna be using the Revolution Emily Edit, the Wants palette for today's look. And this palette is a 24 shade palette that's sold at Ulta. Makeup Revolution is actually a really, really nice drugstore brand. This palette is no exception. I know there's a lot of mixed reviews and a lot of controversy around this palette, but honestly, like, I have nothing but good things to say about this palette. The shades are blendable, the shimmers show up. I mean, is it 100% perfect? Probably not, but I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I find that if you take your time and you really use the product the way that it's intended, it tends to work out just fine for me. I'm gonna be doing an evening look, more of like a date night kind of look, since we do have Valentine's Day coming up and some other holidays. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna take the color Midwest and Prayer and kind of mix that together on a crease brush. And I'm just gonna put that all over the lid. Okay, kind of want to do a halo eye, but I'm gonna kind of do like a Valentine's Day kind of halo eye with like lots of pinks and reds. The one thing that I love about this palette is that there's so many neutrals in it, but there's also a lot of pops of color, and it's a great palette for like if you're just starting out with color and you don't really know what to do or know how to use them or whatever. I feel like this would be a great palette for you because the colors are not like boom vibrant, but they are there, you know? So it's a good, easy transition into using some of those colors. I am just gonna take a definer brush and I am going to take the shade, this Love Tons and this Laugh Cry, and mix it together. And I'm gonna put that in my outer V and my inner V. And I'm gonna build this up so it's gonna look a little crazy for a minute here, but I think it's gonna turn out really well. Leave that center completely blank. I mean, it's okay to have your transition shade in there because what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this brush and really connect those two dots, but this portion right here is gonna remain blank. And then the best way that I have found is to take a concealer and just kind of use that as a primer or base agent and put either your shimmer or whatever you're gonna put in the center, just right there. I'm still gonna take that same brush, but I'm gonna go in with a darker shade called Cheer, just to darken it up, and I'm gonna keep it a little bit lower on this outer V. And you really want to work in kind of circular motions here. I find that if I push it into that crease, it blends just the way that I need it to. I'm gonna take that same shade in the beginning of my eye, this inner corner here, and we need to make it match. That's the goal with these halo eyes. Okay. And now I'm gonna take this color called Family. It's kind of like a deep purpley plum, and I'm gonna take it ever so lightly, just right in that outer corner once again, deepening it up as we go. And we're gonna make it match on that inner corner. And I'm just gonna kind of connect the two together just a little bit. I'm going to take some of this concealer that we used, just kind of dab it right in the center of that eye, and I'm just going to take my finger and kind of blend that on, just like that. And then I'm gonna grab the shade Eve Rose. It's kind of like an iridescent pink. Perfect for Valentine's Day. And the key to getting your shimmers to really stand out is to dip them in and then drag it across the skin just a little bit, right in that center. Really make it pop. And then I'm gonna go back in with my brush and I'm gonna put more of this Love Tons and just kind of blend it all together. And once again, I'm gonna pick up my definer brush and put this purple called Family right there on the edge, really deepen it. And then I'm gonna take it and put it on that inner portion as well. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this definer brush for my bottom lashes. And I'm gonna take the shade Love Tons again, but I'm gonna mix it with this Pi Phi and run it along my lower lash line here. And you don't want to go all the way in with this shade just because it is a dark shade and we don't want it to close off our eye. Going a little bit more with that Eve Rose. Just to brighten that up again. Awesome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tight line my lower lash line here. And I'm also going to put just a little line right here on the upper. And what I'm going to do with that line is I'm going to take any smudge brush will do, but I am going to just kind of smudge that on the top line here and smudge it a little on the bottom lash line as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye here, so give me just a minute. So I am now just gonna curl my lashes just a little bit here. And I just kind of do 1, 2, 3 pulsating squeezes. 1, 2, 3, and call it good there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and coat my lashes with some mascara. I'm just using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. So you could easily stop right there on the eyes and that is a beautiful look. I feel like it's very romantic, very soft, perfect for a date night. It's very kind of like ethereal because you've got that shimmer right on your lid. But I'm actually gonna kind of spice it up and I'm gonna use Allure Exaggerate number 143 lashes today. These lashes are beautiful and they're very, I want to say they're natural, but we all know false lashes don't look natural. But they do. They give you kind of this very like elongated, but not overly exaggerated look. So we are gonna go ahead and apply those onto our eyes and we'll be right back. All right. I'm gonna let those dry down really well before I do anything else to my eyes. So while that's drying down, I've got 2 different lip options here. I've got the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink in the shade Dreamer. And I also have the CoverGirl by Katy Perry Katy Cat Matte Lipstick in Katy Purry. It's kind of like this pretty plum color. I think I might do like a little bit of both. I love this shade. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry down before I'm gonna add a small layer of this Katy Purry lipstick onto my lips as well. And I'm gonna go right over the top of that. And I think just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna pump up my blush a little bit more. Just give me that all over glow. All right, so this is the finished look. I think it turned out really pretty. It's a fun kind of date night kind of look. Like I said, you don't have to add the lashes in if you don't want to, but if you feel like putting lashes on, then it would look really awesome with this look. I think it turned out really well. Don't forget to leave your comments down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!